Joining us now is OjyOkpe with stories trending around the world. Hello, Ginny.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Have you registered with Leke? You see the ad that we have just now is part of a Rise News channel. Congratulations to the Duke, yes. Prince Nduka Obagbena. Another reinvention, isn't it? Ayo, how are you?
I'm good and I've registered.
You
so when you go online, they'll
yes.
ask you you would get updates. It's not yet live, but you get updates, so be the first to know about it.
Right.
Yeah, Moni, I'm really proud of the fact that we keep innovating.
Really?
That's the way forward.
Social media is the new medium for news. How are you this morning? Rufy on fire.
Morning, Audrey, I'm doing well.
Perfect. Well, all right. Well, before we begin what's trending, we'd like to highlight this missing person alert, Odera Mbadiwe, who is also the grandson of the politician and statesman, Dr. Kingsley Ozumba Mbadiwe. He has been missing since Monday, September 1st. Family members say he was last seen in Victoria Island, Lagos, at 29 Idowu Martin Street, wearing grey trousers. He's 6'2" and drives a black Nissan convertible with plate number GM70AMB. If you have any information about his whereabouts, please get in touch with the numbers on your screen or report to the nearest police station. This is such a sad incident. 33 years old young man in Lagos. I mean, we don't know what the situation is, whether it's a case of kidnapping or whatnot. But like I said, he is the grandson of the great Mbadiwe. And, you know, I hope that the family member gets some succor when he is found, because I believe that he will be found. We join the family to appeal to the public to help with any information. Those are the numbers on the screen. If you have any information, you can contact the police as well. Well, let's now take reactions to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's declaration that the creation of state police is now critical to strengthening security across the country. The president made the comments on Tuesday during a visit from Katsina State Governor Diko Rada at the presidential villa in Abuja. In his remarks, Tinubu stated that although the country is dealing with difficult security challenges, the problems can be fixed with determination and the right strategy. Well, let's take a look before we take some reactions.
I've been looking at the security situation more carefully. I've seen civilian JTF, or what you call it, to react to the security challenges. Find so many creative ways you people have been going to protect the neighborhood and communities around you. And that has provoked my thinking about, state police. Again, politics apart. We can discuss with the National Assembly leadership to really, look at critical path to that again.
All right. I mean, the state governors have also been advocating for the state police. It's good and it's quite reassuring to see that the president is actually, at this moment, backing the idea. Let me take Temi Tokwe's tweet. And he wrote, if there's going to be state police, then devolution of power must happen. Let states pay their police salaries from the proceeds they see in their states. I like that point. You can't create state police without devolution of power. A police in Lagos or Rivers should earn more than the one in Yola, right, Rufai? Another tweet is from Femi. They wrote, absolutely. We've been clamoring for this for long. The local people know their own people and state very well. Let them police their own affairs. Each state should recruit individuals from their states. Send them to the federal government police college for a mandatory training. After the training, they obtain a police license. Then they go back to their states as police officers to be managed by the state governments. The federal government can then have specialized policing teams for crime investigation and for deterrence. Dr. Vati, what do you make of this? I mean, I do like the idea of devolution of powers as well. I mean, I think that is really the way to go.
Okay, let's start as follows. No, this is not new. I made a point earlier on that since 2014 National Political Conference, state police was one of the recommendations of that political conference under the Jonathan administration. But of course, when President Buhari got there, he set it aside. He said it was not an issue, complaints about the conclusions of that report, about the composition of the National Political Conference. That was that. But when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu got into office, he, having been an advocate and having written a book on federalism, said, okay, let us visit the issue of state police. In 2024, a committee was set up to revisit the matter. That committee was led by the Vice President Kashim Shettima. Now, by January this year, we were told that all the state governments had already signed up to the idea of state police. We discussed it here. Many people say, oh, it was an idea that the time had come. Now, various states, they were supposed to submit their reports, their own, framework as to how that can be worked out. Now, the deadline given to them was, I think, March 2025. As at March 2025, only 20 states have submitted their own reports. So you don't even see the commitment on the part of the states. So now President Tinubu, meeting a delegation from Katsina State, says he's committed to the idea of state police. What will be required? Now the background lies in constitutional reform. Section 215 says, 214, Section 214 says that there shall be only one police force in Nigeria. So that's where the point about devolution of powers comes from. That for you to have state police, you have to amend that Section 214. Section 215 of the same constitution says expressly that only the president of Nigeria can give directives to that sole police force of Nigeria. So unless you do all of that, the governors are powerless. That's why a governor, of Zamfara State will say, well, I can solve the problem, but he does not have the powers. Right. That's why an ordinary police sergeant, or what was his rank, we tell Governor Sanwo-Olu of Lagos that I don't take instructions from governor. I take instructions only from my Ogas on top. So these are the issues that are involved here. But the state governors, they say they want to control security in their states if they are so empowered. In other jurisdictions, in America, where you came from.
From where?
You came from America.
My originality is
they have National Guard.
American,
they have, marshals.
They
have all this in a federal system.
Yes.
So that's why the whole issue is about constitutionalism, control, power sharing, and also, the will on the part of the government.
But we are seeing that the president is aligned with this idea of devolution of power and that sort of federalism, and saying that he backs the state police.
It's not for him to talk about it.
I know, but it's great that he's talking about it. I'm just saying, but hopefully it will go through that constitutional amendment, because this is really what we need. For these people, like you see in the tweets, they're saying the states have control of the people, and if they have control of the people, they know the people that they can recruit, and they're able to govern their states, and we are able to hold them to account. I like that. In the same vein, though, reactions have continued to trail the 6-year sentencing of Nigerian-born Finnish citizen Simon Ekpa by a Finnish court for terrorism-related activities. The federal government, through the Minister of Information, had hailed the verdict as a major victory for the Nigerian police or for the Nigerian people in the collective fight against terror. Now, the Igbo social-cultural organization, Ohaneze Ndigbo, on Wednesday applauded the federal government for Ekpa's incarceration. In a statement by the deputy president of the group, the development underscores the Igbo people's resolute opposition to armed struggle under the guise of Biafra agitation. The group stated that they unequivocally condemn terrorism in all its forms and reject any deviation from non-violent self-determination principles, adding that the Igbo nation stands united for peace and constructive dialogue. I mean, this group have stated that, Ekpa's arrest will mitigate insecurity in the southeast. They commended the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, for their efforts in fighting terror in the region. The Finnish Court found Ekpa guilty of using his social media to urge his followers to commit crimes. He was also found guilty of supplying groups with weapons and explosives while also promoting violence on the ground in Nigeria from where he was in Finland. I'd like to take some reactions to that comment from the Igbo social cultural group Ohanaeze Ndigbo. This person, Naji, wrote on X that this is not a federal government of Nigeria case. It's between Finland and Simon Ekpa. No one needs to commend Nigeria government for it. I completely disagree with that tweet. Well, Araba described the deputy president as fraudulent. He wrote, how can this fraudulent person claim to be speaking for the Ohaneze with no challenge? Which government or which federal government did that? Why did they allow the guy to wreak havoc in the southeast before going after him? Is it not shameful that this case concluded speedily, which is a huge conversation, while the other one in Nigeria moves like snail? Your thoughts on those comments? I mean,
okay.
What are your
So, terror has no place in society. Mm-hmm. And anybody that supports and condemns and condones terror, like Simon Ekpa did, I totally condemn them. Because I feel terror is not the solution to the problems of the Southeast. Are there cases of marginalization against the Southeast? Yes, like we always say, the Civil War never ended. Honestly, and it's true. Because after Gowon declared no victor, no vanquish, there's still a lot that needs to be done for the Southeast that has not been done. And we still see this clear marginalization. And it's this marginalization that makes people like Simon Ekpa have a voice in the first place. At some point, it was Ralph Wazirike, Nnamdi Kanu, all of them. The common thread is marginalization, which I think the government should fix. And that's why I said the first process in doing that is settling the Nnamdi Kanu case. Mm-hmm. And so that we start restoring sanity to the Southeast region, because if we restore it, then development will come. But I totally condemn everything Simon Ekpa did do at that point in time. But I think, and I disagree with that too, like you said, the federal government has to be commended because the federal government did make overtures. But Finland did say, okay, yes, we are, we're a sovereign nation, we're going to deal with this. Mm-hmm. And IPOB also did go against, some, Ekpa, a lot. And in fact, they did come out openly to pronounce that they're not in support of what he was doing. So that's settled. I think another case I would like to talk about is this. You see, the kind of democracy we run in Nigeria is a hypocritical democracy. It's a demonstration of grace. And Dr. Bali, you made a valid point that in the Constitution, yes, the police, the Nigerian police force, which says we all take, instruction from the commander-in-chief, that only applies when the Governor Institute is not aligned with the federal government. We have also seen police in the states being used, and federal police in the state being used to be able to go against oppositions of governors. In that same state, when they are doing it, the state governor is in charge. You know why? Because it's probably alignment with the central government then. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to cases of insecurity in the state, and is not probably aligned with the central government, then he starts to cry. Because that time, the central government will not give him all the support he gets. So I think also the case of the politicization of the central government in the case of insecurity is the big problem. Coming back to what Dauda was saying, and I think this is the thread with what Dauda was saying. When we hear about case of banditry in Zamfara states, we don't see the big response by the state, by the federal government security forces there. But recently there was an election, 5 polling units. You needed to see how they deployed brigades and brigades. In fact, they summoned up military forces from Gombe and neighboring states just to be able to oversee 5 polling units because the APC was involved in that election and they finally did win the election to prove a political point. Right. So another part in all of this conversation about state police is going to be the eventual politicization of the apparatchik of security in those states. And that's why Dada is saying that, yes, I should be able to sort this out. But the question is, we also know what is going on in these states. The politicization, because in one breath, you want to go ahead and flush the bandits.
Yeah.
The bandits are also valuable during election period.
What are the solutions? What are the solutions?
Number one solution will be this.
Just 2 seconds.
Have a state police that is totally independent. And in fact, even having a state police is overflowed because there is almost no states. Most of the states in this country and most of the regions have some sort of architecture of state police. In the southeast, there's a Bubeagu.
Yeah, but their remits are limited.
Their remits are limited. No, the only difference is, what's it called? Amoteku carries weapons, but they don't carry high-grade weapons like your AK-47. But they do intelligence gathering work and they work with the police. There's Shege Kafasa, there's all of that. So that model you have been using, continue to use it.
So you prefer to have the vigilante groups and the federal structure that we already have in place? Is that what you prefer?
No.
Because you're talking about Ebubagu and all of those.
There are still state vigilante units that are different from the likes of Amoteku and Ebubagu.
No, I think that the state police, the idea of the state police is for them to have the full might and the full support to be able to govern their state. Some of these vigilantes, they go around with, useless weapons. They don't have.
No.
Yes, we saw things that happen in
What
is it? Agune Chamber. Yes.
That's what we are saying.
So that's the conversation.
That's what we're saying.
Is that what you're saying?
No, listen.
What's your conversation?
Please take our time to hear me
yes,
out. Please.
Quickly.
You have those vigilante units that are spread across the country. In fact, there's a National Vigilante Association.
Yeah.
That's separate. Then you have things like Amoteku.
Yeah, we know that.
Amoteku, hope you know, is being led by a retired military officer, which they bring some structure and training into it. What I'm saying is those hitherto structures you have, amplify it, give them more oversight to be able to carry bigger weapons, and then go ahead and do the constitutional reform. But you must also put modalities and stopgaps in place that in a case where these people try to politicize and they become agents of the governor against their political adversaries, you will be able to step in. Because that's the grounds a lot of people have against the state police officer. But the structures are there. Governor Dauda has a cadet unit in Zamfara. The other day, we showed on TV when Benue launched their own. Almost everybody have their own.
All right.
But it's just out to... Lagos even has a neighborhood watch of some sort.
Okay.
We'll take another story now.
Let me just say, the leading, most visible authority on state police in Nigeria at the moment, there are other scholars on this subject, but the leading authority is Professor Kemi Rotimi of the Department of History, Obafemi Awolowo University. He has written a book, The Police in a Federal State, the Nigerian Experience. I hope we'll get an opportunity to engage with him at some point. His main conclusion is that state police is not new. We have had it before in this country, and it can work without necessarily being politicized.
Absolutely, well said. Shall we take another story now? From the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, in a horrific and tragic incident, a family of 3, a man, his wife, and their son, all died in a horrific car crash. The incident, according to eyewitnesses, occurred on Wednesday, September 3rd, at the Mabushi Bridge, after a group of hoodlums reportedly ambushed the family's car, accusing the driver of breaking traffic rules. The family car reportedly stopped by the bridge to pick someone up when a hoodlum forced his way into the vehicle and grabbed the steering wheel from the driver, which led to the car ramming into a pillar at the bridge. Well, here is the aftermath of the incident.
This is what Abuja caused here in Abuja. They are really causing a lot of harm. It's high time we do something in Abuja. Seriously. Both family died because of Aburo. Yeah, is it so? Imagine. They chase this man, enter in car, drag steering for in hand. The man die, his wife die, his son die. FCT minister needs to do something. Amak must leave Abuja.
Ayo, this was such a horrific scene that we saw. Yes, I don't know if you saw the videos that were trending, and there was some sort of jungle justice that occurred because those hoodlums, the residents in the area, pulled them and burnt them, set them ablaze, which is quite unfortunate because only yesterday we took the story of Amaye, this sort of jungle justice, and this is the conversation I want to have. Following that crash, like I said, residents in the area reportedly caught 3 of the suspected hoodlums and set them on fire. As of now, the police have yet to issue an official statement or provide further details on the tragic incident. Ayo.
All right, so let me start from the back end and work my way backwards, which is from the jungle justice as a result of these touts, these louts in Abuja. So we see that Lagos is not the only place where we have issues around people, you know, urchins on the street who constitute themselves as authorities to take taxis, unlawful taxis from, you know, commuters on the road. So what happens, and yesterday Dr. Bati said something when we had that talk about Amaye, that when you see jungle justice, it is a lack of distrust on the part of the people on the systems in place to address these things. And so when people feel that they are pushed to the wall and feel like they do not trust the system to do what it's supposed to do, they take matters into their own hands. As we've often seen, this is one case too many, where immediately we're going back to the days whereby tires were strewn around the necks of armed robbers, and in the same way because the police were not trusted enough to do their job, so they institute jungle justice. And we saw a swift reaction to these touts where one of them was burnt alive. And in some instances, some people would say, good for them, good for them.
Oh, you should have seen those
say, oh, it's good for them because these people have terrorized the neighborhood, and the officials have not been able to contain their excesses. Last year, July 2024, the FCT authority had said they were going to, clamp down on these touts and their activities, motor park touts, and said they were going to arrest and persecute them. 1 year later, they are still on the roads, they are still doing the same thing, and this has now led to the death of a family. It is ridiculous. And so when people feel that the authorities are not doing their job, it pushes people to behave like animals, to take matters into their own hands, and then to implement jungle justice. What we're calling for now is that I hope that this will be a lesson to the FCT, I'm hopeful, and that will actually end this menace of touts who collect illegal taxes from innocent commuters, whether it be in Abuja or Lagos, any part of Nigeria. It is illegal. It has to end. We need to see it come to a stop.
Well said. That family of 3, a young man, wife and family, may their soul rest in peace. We'll take another story. The medical community right now is in a state of mourning after Dr. Oluwafemi Rotifa, a young resident doctor, collapsed and died after working for 72 hours straight. Reports indicate that the doctor had been on call for 3 days straight, working in the emergency room. He then went to the call room to rest, but ended up passing away. In a post on X, the Port Harcourt University Medical Students Association said that it is with a heavy heart and profound sorrow that we announce the passing of our 35th president of the Port Harcourt University Medical Students Association, Dr. Rotifa Femi, who died while on duty. This is a great loss to the family, loved ones, and the medical students community as a whole. As we mourn, we demand for justice and accountability. Rest in peace, Dr. Rotifa Femi. He's a 35th president. Now, we're yet to see a statement from the Rivers State University Teaching Hospital where he worked. But Dr. Rotifa was also reportedly registered with the United Kingdom's General Medical Council and was waiting for a medical placement abroad. And I'll just take a reaction to this story, Dr. Bati, before I come to you. This person wrote, the painful loss of Dr. Oluwafemi Rotifa after a 72-hour call duty is more than a headline. It is a horror of what many of us have lived through. I remember during my house job, after working 32 hours non-stop, I checked my vitals and discovered my blood pressure was high. That moment opened my eyes to the hidden toll of exhaustion we carry as doctors. This tragedy reminds us that while we dedicate our lives to saving others, we also need systems that protect our own health and well-being. May Dr. Rotifa's soul rest in peace, and may his passing ignite urgent reforms to make humane working conditions a reality for every healthcare worker in Nigeria. We comment, Dr. Bati.
Okay, very quickly, we commiserate with the Rotifa family, with all the persons who worked with Dr. Rotifa, who knew him, his colleagues, his teachers, for whom, and for all of us. for whom this is a monumental loss. Now, doctors sign upon graduation what they call the Hippocratic Oath, as defined by Hippocrates. Now, there is nowhere in that oath that says that a doctor must die while trying to save others. It says that doctors have an obligation to save lives, whatever the circumstances. Now, this is a young doctor who was working for 72 hours. He is one of those patriots who have refused to succumb to the Japa syndrome. Now, we were in this country when one minister of labor said, oh, we have more than enough doctors. Whoever wants to Japa, whether to Saudi Arabia or Canada or the US or the UK, was free to go. But there are some patrons who remain here. And now we have a shortage of doctors. How can one individual work for 72 hours? The guy was overworked until death. And yet this is a time when medical doctors are protesting, resident doctors are going on strike, nurses and midwives are going on strike. They are not even well paid. They don't even get their salaries on time. And then they lose their lives in the process. Nigeria happened to Dr. Rotifa.
Absolutely right.
But the other point is that doctors too have an obligation to take care of their health and not become victims of overwork or sudden death. In saving other people's lives, their own lives are very important.
Absolutely. Well said, Dr. Abati. Thank you for that. May his soul rest in peace. Well, in a heart-wrenching plea, a young Nigerian girl, Mercy Oluwagbenga, is warning her peers against the dangers of irregular migration after being rescued from Libya. Mercy, who was received by the chairman of the Nigerians in Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabiri Erewa, shared her harrowing ordeal. She said she was lured by a promise of a better life to care for her sick mother, but instead found herself in modern-day slavery. She worked for 1 year and 6 months without pay to settle a 2.5 million naira debt to her agent. Mercy tearfully recounted being maltreated and described how Nigerians in her situation are treated like animals.
They don't like us in the sense that they see us as, I don't know, maybe competitors, or because they knew wherever Nigerians are, they might take over. So they treat us like animals. My own experience was the last place I worked. I was locked up for a year. In my room, they locked the door before going out. They locked the outside door, they locked the gate door. So I was stranded in that house.
Due to my own situation, I was like, maybe when I get there, I'll be able to send some to my mom. But when I got even 5 naira, I couldn't even see to send to her. She died. She died. So no matter the situation, even if you are seeing 10 naira every month, 20 naira every month, don't go to Nigeria is better than every country.
What a powerful, powerful message. Really sad incident. I mean, I'm glad that she has been rescued. Honorable Abike Dabiri praised Mercy for her courage, calling her one of the lucky ones. The NIDCOM boss warned that many others have died or gone missing and described irregular migration as voluntary suicide. She assured that NIDCOM will help Mercy return to school and continue to advocate against human trafficking. And that's what she's done there. She has warned, and she says Nigeria is better than any country. She was on news last night, and my heart broke when I heard some of her statements there.
Very sad one. Please do not go that route, because we know what is going to end in. It's going to end in disaster and chaos. But I think the question we should ask without being hypocritical is that why are people leaving Nigeria? It's because they don't trust. They don't believe, the system doesn't work, and that's the thing we speak about here every day. Look at Dr. Rotifa's case. Dr. Mbadiwe, he said he wasn't passing the part of Japa. He had already collected the medical paper. He was already set to go. We would have lost him before he passed. Why? Why are our doctors looking for the UK as transit point, people looking for Libya? Because there's something wrong in the country, and you can see the indications. $32 million America has given us to be able to feed people that are hungry.
Right.
Let's make this country work. Oji, I know Nigerians that schooled abroad. In fact, at first, if you schooled abroad in the 70s, people looked down on you because they felt the Nigerian education system was a whole lot better. Right. I know Nigerians that schooled abroad. They didn't think of staying back abroad. They were so eager to come back home.
Well, I came back home and we're here together.
We used to look down American degrees.
You guys used to, right? All right. Well, I like her point and I like her advocacy. Yeah. And would also like to congratulate NIDCOM for the powerful work that they've been doing in bringing back our Nigerians home, really. And, you know, thank God for Mercy's life. She did have mercy. Now to a story that shows the power of chosen family, with former Governor Adams Oshiomhole surprising his blind adopted daughter, Joyce Imasuen Osaive, after she graduated from the University of Benin with a degree in law. The former governor visited his adopted daughter at her mother's family house to congratulate her for finishing with an outstanding 2-1 upper honors in this heartwarming video. Oshiomhole delivers some words of wisdom to her and her family, where he speaks about the impact that people with disabilities can have on society, to celebrate how far she has come, while telling her directly that the sky is her starting point in life. Let's take a look.
Rather than lamenting what you cannot change, you choose to demonstrate that with determination, you can still get to where you want to get to. But there are many people who are not challenged at all, and they cannot make a law degree, and they go and they fail, or they got third class. You know, I'm sure there are quite a number like that. And so imagine you making a 2-1 and with all the challenges. So the sky is your starting point in life.
What a powerful story, Aya. What a powerful story. Osaive first met the governor in 2011 when she was just 9 years old. Their relationship started when Oshiomhole and his wife, Lara, discovered that the young girl's parents were also visually impaired. From that moment, they stepped in, sponsoring her education, personal needs, and have consistently referred to her as their daughter.
Beautiful. This is a good news report, actually. It speaks to many things. Yes. Shows adoption can be in different ways. You can have the child living with you, or you can just decide to take on a child, and people do that, where you just take on the responsibility of training a child or raising a child in a home. Then beyond that, it also speaks to persons living with disabilities, that your disability should not be, should not contain you or stop you from achieving your goals. And when given the right environment to thrive, they can really thrive. It can either come from someone who's sponsoring them, like in the case of former Governor Oshiomhole, or just the fact that Nigeria has an opportunity for people, whether with visual disabilities or physical disability, to actually make the best case of themselves. I hope that this would be an example to people who would use this as an opportunity to look out for their fellow, whether you have a disability or not, to actually help the next person. You never know if you're raising the next generation of superstars and people who would find a cure for some disease, or end malaria in Nigeria, or become the next president who will transform the nation. So well done, really proud. And my mom's brother, my mom is from Edo North, so I'm always proud to see Rigborn work being done
just
there.
To say that this proves two things. One, that there is ability
in disability. Yes.
There are persons who will have been Masuma's classmates, very able, capable, physically agile persons who ended with pass or third class.
All right.
And yet, despite her ability, disability, she performed excellently.
Fantastic. Well said.
Comrade Oshiomhole, we are congratulating him, thanking him. Yes. Just like Governor Eno the other day, who preached the message of inclusivity, that nobody should be discriminated against in this country, in line with the objective of Section 42 of the 1999 Constitution.
Well said, Dr. Abati, and kudos. Comrade Adams Oshiomhole. Well, now under milestones, in a vibrant display of culture, history, and tradition, His Majesty Ogiame Atuashe III, the 21st Olu of Warri, recently celebrated his 4th coronation anniversary. He was first crowned on August 21st, 2021. Bring that again tomorrow. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful milestone. I'd love to thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending Today. Well, that's all I have for you guys on What's Trending Today. I'll see you all tomorrow.